Hidden in plain sight. Something that is hidden in plain sight is something that appears to be hidden, but is actually very easy to see or find. It means that something is so obvious that it might be missed at first, and may be something or a situation that you may have to double take. Hello, welcome back to the channel. We are back in action. And today we are talking about one of the most controversial people we have talked about to date. We are talking about the story of a quote-unquote ECW original, as well as somebody who is completely scrubbed from the WWE's library. The focus of today's video is, of course, Rockin Rebel Chuck Williams, as well as the absolute heinous tragedy that he committed. Chuck Williams was a professional wrestler who went by the ring name Rockin Rebel. He was trained by Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson and had stints in companies such as WCW, some dark matches for the WWF, CZW, and as mentioned earlier, was one of the ECW originals. By all means, he seemed to be like a completely below average independent professional wrestler. However, there was so much more than what just met the eye. By all accounts, he was a whiny bitch and a complete asshole backstage to other wrestlers. And also, here's a little bit of wrestling trivia. Do you know who the independent professional wrestler was that decided to bring buckets of fried chicken to the ring every time he wrestled black wrestlers? If your answer was Rockin Rebel Chuck Williams, you would be correct. And your prize for getting that answer correct is figuring out the heinous shit he did afterwards. Without beating around the bush, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, he murdered his wife. He did this in an act of murder-suicide. And do you want to know who discovered both of their bodies? Their 10-year-old children. They were alleged to also be inside the house while this occurred. Oh my god, bro. That's so fucked, bro. One of the most disturbing parts about this entire situation is the fact that days earlier, he had posted on Facebook, and I quote, "Days of spending time with the ones who love you and you love them are far and few. Make them count." And this post also included a family photo of the four alongside their dog. This would only be the tip of the iceberg when it came to uncovering the true relationship between Rockin Rebel and his wife, Stephanie. To say the least, the two had a rather rough relationship for a long period of time. Rockin Rebel was a manipulator and mentally tortured Stephanie. Examples of his manipulation included when he would threaten to kill himself anytime Stephanie tried leaving him. At one point, during one of his spells, he had shot off a firearm to create the illusion that he had shot himself. This was something that was commonplace and it happened all the time. But that's just scratching the surface with the mental aspect of things. There was a whole different side of Chuck, the physically abusive side. It's been told on numerous accounts that during the 90s he was arrested for holding his wife hostage at gunpoint. Allegedly, this had happened due to the fact that she had threatened to leave him again. And following this, Stephanie had told her family to not press charges on Chuck. And so it continued. The endless revolving door of a toxic relationship. One in which would lead to the police officers being very familiar with their home. They were over there a lot and 911 calls were frequent. Shane Douglas has went on record saying that Rockin Rebel had a very intense personality and got mad very easily. The large majority of people that had spent a certain amount of time around Chuck had known that he had a temper. He was very rude to a large portion of people. And there was an even larger portion of people that did not like him in the slightest. He was very rude to the people around him, whined about his position on cards, and was a very big dick to people below him. Which is kind of crazy coming from somebody who seemed like somebody's uncle who was trying to fit in with the young kids, who was holding on to this last sliver of fame as a quote-unquote ECW original. But I digress. Who Rockin Rebel truly was as a person was hiding in plain sight. And it was fully revealed on June 1st, 2018 when he committed the tragic act that he did. Following this, Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac, had some not nice things to say about Rockin Rebel Chuck Williams. Also about things relating to the entire tragedy and situation. He had said that he had only known Rockin Rebel through casual conversation, but knew that a lot of people were not fond of him. He had also brought to light a text that an ECW original had sent him, saying that Chuck was not a good guy and that Stephanie had lived in fear for her life all the time. He then went on to say that it seems like a lot of people failed this poor woman, and now there are two 10-year-old kids that don't have a mom, and it's so fucking sad. And in all honesty, it is, because this was a very avoidable situation. It was a toxic relationship that included a short-tempered individual. A short-tempered individual with a checkered past and very, very long history. And quite frankly, it's disturbing how manipulative one individual can be. It's crazy how much of an effect gaslighting can have on another individual. While Chuck Williams was a very, very bad human being, it was obvious that he wasn't all the way there mentally. Through the numerous years of head trauma, he was considered to have CTE. And due to this assumption, following the tragedy, his brain was donated to science. Where his brain was donated was Kairos Law. And I don't think I have to explain why his brain was donated to science, but I will anyway. It is to do research to hopefully explain what roles certain brain conditions such as CTE play on the human mind and psyche. It's truly sad to see such a horrific act unfold and occur, especially knowing the other variables in the equation, the children. Those children now grow up without both biological parents. It's heartbreaking and unfortunately far more common than you'd assume. And to be honest, I don't know why this specific tragedy hasn't been talked about more. You would think with how much the Benoit tragedy gets talked about, you'd hear about a similar and equally awful occurrence. While Benoit and Williams are on different wavelengths, I'm sure you get what I mean. And I mean, well, Rockin Rebel has also been completely erased from WWE's history. Not like there was much there anyway. This was another heartbreaking tragedy that will unfortunately go down in history for all the wrong reasons. And it was once again something that was hidden in complete sight that could have been stopped earlier than it was. But because it wasn't, 2 people lost their lives and 2 children had to grow up without parents. Heartbreaking. Truly heartbreaking. Now to segue out of this video, that's gonna be all for me. I appreciate you guys for taking time out of your day to watch this video. And if you enjoyed it, and if I earned it, I would appreciate it if you liked the video as well as subscribe to the channel. We're trying to take over the world here, so every subscription helps. You should also join the Discord server. You should really join the Discord server. It's a really cool place. We be talking ball, we be talking wrestling, and we be talking music. So, you should join it. Everybody that's ever been cool in the history of the word cool is in the Discord server. So you should join it, and you should become cool. But aside from that, that's going to be all from me again. I appreciate you guys for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Y'all stay safe. God bless.